On top of that, neither one of these guys have any. Well, let me take it back. Neither one of them have any disciplined or like trained skill, but both of them do seem very right. Like they're not doing techniques correctly.
All right, welcome to another episode of Two Fight Fans, where we talk about all things in combat sports. I'm one fight fan, Colin.
And I'm the other Stuart.
All right, so we have UFC 311 this weekend, the first official UFC card, according to Stuart.
Yeah, and I'll stick by that till the day I die. Yeah, and we're doing picks this time. We're doing them a little bit differently. But Colin, I have
Yes.
a new segment before we even do this.
Oh boy! All right.
So last time we introduced Colin's crystal balls. This time we go, does Colin even read?
Does Colin even read? No, I don't read. I can't
questions. I ask questions of Colin about the fighters on the upcoming card and see how well he knows them and
Oh
if he pays
shit!
attention to them overall.
Oh boy!
So five questions.
You're really putting me on blast right now. Okay.
Yeah, man. And it's like a cheeky way of me making sure that we all know. Our audience knows, you know, I know these facts. It's important.
All right. Hit me.
All right. So, which fighter has both a father and an uncle that are billionaires?
That are billionaires?
Yes.
A father and an uncle.
Yes. An ultra high net worth wealthy family.
Is it Umar?
It is not Umar. Incorrect. It is Arman Tsarukyan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Arman Tsarukyan is a billionaire. His father owns many super yachts.
Oh.
Is a Russian oligarch, and his uncle owns the largest construction business in Armenia.
I do remember seeing something about him like pulling up in this sweet ass car, and Dana White being like, "Where the fuck did you get that?"
Yeah, he. Anyone who says like adversity and toughness, like you have to be born in poverty to be a good fighter, that's wrong. It turns out when you have infinite amount of money at your disposal and you can get the greatest training possible, you can go pretty far, like Arman Tsarukyan.
Okay.
Which fighter on the card was once a professional basketball player?
Is it Yuri?
You are right. It is Yuri Prochazka. Now, he did play professionally in Europe. I don't know if we count that as true professional basketball, but he was paid a salary to play basketball.
Yeah. All right.
Which fighter said, and I quote, "I'm a libertarian first and a fighter second"? Come on, there should be a shoo-in. Who's fighting on this card, my man? Who says crazy shit on this card?
Dude, so many people say they're all of them are crazy.
But there's one who stands above them all, Colin.
Stu, we have a card that has both Jamal Hill and Hanato Moicano on this.
Well, you got so close. It is Hanato Moicano.
It was Hanato Moicano, really?
Yes, Hanato Moicano. I am libertarian first and a fighter second.
Oh my god. All right.
Pretty good. Which fighter claimed to have been in a 12-on-1 street fight in which they beat 12 opponents?
I feel like that has to be either Jamal Hill or Kevin Holland.
You got at least half of it, right? It is Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill claims that he was playing pickup basketball for money. And when someone refused to pay, he decided to fight them. And 11 of their friends came and attacked him. And he claims to have beaten them all back. And that's when he knew he must become a professional fighter. Last question. You've only gotten one so far.
I've gotten partial credit. I've gotten partial credit for some of these. Come on.
Which fighter attended an exclusive and elite preparatory school from a very young age?
Oh God!
And I'll give you. It's not Arman Tsarukyan.
An elite private school?
Yes.
Peyton Talbot?
Incorrect. Not
Oh,
Peyton Talbot. It could be two fighters, Umar Nurmagomedov or Islam Makhachev. Unknown
really?
to most fans, the Abdulmanap camp, run by now Khabib Nurmagomedov, was an elite preparatory school funded by the governor and mayor of Dagestan, with a ton of government funds going into it, where like the sons of the well-to-do upper middle class and upper class sent their children, or the sons of those families were sent to study wrestling and stay out of basically gang violence and militant Islam.
Wow. I did
So
not know
again,
that.
this thing of, oh, these guys are from the mountains and they just eat trees and punch bears. Incorrect. They are in a world-class facility from a very young age, getting a world-class education, not just by Russian standards, by world standards, and having access to an extreme amount of privilege within Dagestan.
All right, all right.
We need to start reversing because there's a lot of this like, oh man, look at these Russian guys. It's so it's because of the ruggedness of Dagestan, and you're like, did you know that them and Armin are like really well to do, like better off than probably most MMA fans in North America? Yeah, great. Well, let's make these picks then,
All
because I gotta
right.
get out of here in about 40 minutes.
Oh, geez. All right. Let's speed
Yeah.
run this shit then. All right. Let's start at the top. So, actually, I was thinking about this, by the way. I'm really happy we're doing this new thing because it reminds me of when we did our picks for the Sphere, and it made it way more fun when we did like not just our picks, but also the wild shit that will happen at the Sphere. So, good job. Good suggestion on this. I just want it known. So, all right. Makhachev for Tsarukyan. What do you got?
Well, you tell me. How do you see this going? Where do you see them having chances to beat each other? Lay it on me.
Yeah, I think it will come down to okay, so they're both very strong wrestlers.
Hmm.
Um, I think it will come to like first who could take advantage on the stand up, like whose striking is a little bit better, and then will force the other one to take the first shot, and then who can like essentially counter and just be one step ahead of that. So, and I think Makhachev's striking has developed far more than Arman Sarukian's. So he'll be able to dictate on the feet, and then he'll be able to kind of push the pace or determine when it goes to the ground and basically just control it that way. So I think Islam is going to win by decision.
Islam by decision because they'll just be able to control him. Um, that's probably a good call. Yeah, I mean, I rewatched the first fight, and one thing I noticed is, Arman Saryukin added what must be at least 30 pounds of lean, explosive muscular tissue onto his body
He looks
since then.
shredded as hell right now. Like, damn.
Yeah, he does have the proportions of like a comic book superhero. Like it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, he is a really solid wrestler, but I think some of his wrestling skill, while very high, is also slightly. I mean, it's definitely helped out by how much like horsepower he has going behind it. Right?
Mhm.
He's just a hoss. Um, and when I watch him wrestle, especially like even in the Charles Oliveira fight, there's a kind of like frantic energy to it. Like Islam always seems very calm and collected and very smooth with what he's doing. He can explode and like hit a dynamic movement, but it never seems like he's like, I gotta just try to keep a pace and panic wrestle. And Armin seems to do that a little bit more than I would like, especially for a 5 round fight,
Mhm.
because eventually you're gonna get tired.
Yeah.
So he does have bigger power than Islam, but I don't think his striking, like the fluidity and combination punching, is as good as Islam's. But he could easily catch Islam and like drop him.
Yeah.
Um, God, I think you're right. I could see Armin actually taking the first 2 rounds and then Islam taking the back three as Armin tires. Because
Yeah.
if Armin just he still kind of has that young guy, I'll just keep dumping my energy, like kind of like a horse, like it just like runs and runs and then it just dies. It doesn't like know that it needs to slow down or like pace itself. I could see Armin doing that in the first 2 rounds, taking the first 2 rounds, maybe even wobbling Islam. But then Islam, yeah, by decision. Well, fuck it, no. Islam by submission, round
Ooh.
5.
Ooh, okay. Do you
Islam
have an idea
submission.
of what kind of
Uh,
submission? That it doesn't matter, but I'm just curious.
it's gonna be a choke of some kind. It won't be so no like arm bar, no ankle lock. It'll be a choke. I'm gonna guess. Yeah, because I could see him getting really tired, getting sloppy in an exchange, giving up his back, or just like giving up his neck for like arm triangle or yeah, I like that's what I'm gonna guess too. It's like it's not gonna be like a triangle choke. It'll be an upper body or it'll be an arm choke, not a leg. It's not gonna be like doing anything with his legs. Yeah, just getting sloppy and then putting his neck out there or exposing his neck in a way where Islam can snatch it out. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Next up, we have Merab Dvalishvili defending his bantamweight title against Umar Nurmagomedov, who
Yep.
supposedly is better than Islam in training. He's
Damn.
seen as like the ascendant guy at that gym, as well as Usman, who's over in what is no longer Bellator, which we'll talk about next time. Bellator is officially gone. The PFL has dissolved that brand.
Mhm.
But yeah, what do you think about this one? Because
Yeah.
you've been a
Oh.
Merab hater for a while, so I want to hear about it.
No, at first I was. So here's the thing. At first I was, yes, a Marauder. I didn't think he would beat Sean O'Malley, and then he like very easily took him apart, and I was like, wow, okay. And then I didn't jump on the Marab bandwagon, but I was like, is he the real deal then? And then I started to watch a little bit more of Umar Nurmagomedov's fights, and I went, this. I feel like Umar is just a little bit better at than Marab at everything except for maybe like his insane cardio that we've highlighted before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I don't know, has Umar been in a 5-round fight?
Yeah, he beat Corey Sandhagen across 5 rounds.
Oh, he did. Okay. Um, but yeah, so I mean, just that's one of Marab's strengths is just his relentless endurance and relentless ability to just be in your face and overwhelm you with just relentless pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be good to see whether Umar can hang with that and actually what he will do against that kind of pressure. But in our discussions over these past few months, you have convinced me. I am going to pick Umar on this one, but I'm also going to say it's going to be a decision.
Okay, well, how do you see it like playing out? Like, give me a little bit more
Oh,
context as
okay.
to how he wins this decision.
So kind of like what you said before, with Islam and Arman Tsarukyan. I think Marab will like just be kind of swarming Umar for the first round or two, and then after that, Umar will kind of get his footing. He'll kind of get the timing. He'll be able to stuff some of the takedowns, and then he'll be able to kind of more whether it's reverse or beat him on the feet. But it'll take him a round or two to kind of figure out the timing and the pacing that Marab is pushing. Because I don't know if he's ever been like, yes, he is the supposed like rising star in that Dagestan camp, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's had to face a kind of pressure and pace that Marab is going to bring. So, but I
Okay.
think it will only take him about a round or two to figure out. Like by the back half of the second round, you'll see he's starting to figure it out. So he'll lose the first round, and then that second round could be given either way. But then from then on, he'll kind of have it figured out, and he'll win the last three.
That's surprising to me because Marab often gets dropped in the first round.
Yeah,
That's usually his weakest round. And from what we saw right off the bat, Umar was a better striker than Corey Sandhagen. And Corey Sandhagen is lauded as like one of the best strikers in the division. And so I'm like, that
but
first round,
that was only like the first time that we've seen him like that dynamic in his striking, right?
well, he's always been a good striker and a striker first over the grappling. Right, like he's always been of the Nurmagomedov camp. He's been like
Like
the
the best
striker
striker.
guy. Yeah.
But he has
Say,
relied a lot on his grappling that he's developed, hasn't he? I
yeah,
feel like a
and
lot of
like
yeah.
yeah, and I think like we don't see him go. Well, one, I don't think he's ever fought a 5 round other than that.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Yeah, and he mostly just kind of like nukes these guys like pretty early in the fights. Like a 1 round KO with a body kick to Hani Barcelos. I guess a decision here, a submission in the first round, a submission in the second round. Yeah, so I mean, he's got a good wealth of like, different finishes, different things. Yeah, this is what I think.
Yeah.
Watching that Sphere fight, even though it was really bad against Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili, there were like two things that really stuck out in my mind. One was Merab in the very first round doesn't like he circles a lot, trying to figure out when he's going to go forward, and it's like not really until he gets hit that he begins to actually engage that pressure game plan. It it makes me go, okay, like that first round, he might not like kind of have his mojo, and that could be a chance for Umar to like really absolutely pick him apart. The other
Okay.
thing is in the fifth round, Sean O'Malley started doing that. I mean, basically a front snap kick to the solar plexus or the gut, or like sort of a teep kick to the gut, and that, especially for wrestlers who come in on a straight line, like they're not catching their kick as it's swinging around and they can turn with their body. It just sneaks right up, and it's too fast often to kick well and then transfer into a takedown. And it hurt Merab when Sean O'Malley did that. And I'm like, Khabib has to have picked up on that and been like, this first round, we're just going to be like spearing the body with those kicks. And then when he overcommits, you just step back off of that front kick and throw the rear hand, and you might catch Merab coming in. I think Umar in 2 rounds is going to take Merab out.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be a second round TKO for Umar Nurmagomedov. I think the
Okay.
first round, we're going to see that teep kick up the middle. It's going to cause Merab a ton of issues. He's going to overcommit and then maybe lose that first round. And they're going to say, hey, you have to come out and like really take it to him. But Umar's going to have made his reads and figured out the timing. And then it's going to be a TKO in the second round. Yeah.
All right.
That's my thought.
Nice. All right. I like it.
All right. What do we even say about this fight?
Nah, you tell me, man.
Jamal Hill versus Yuri Prochazka. I argued one of the top 3 best fights you can make in this division. One of the only 3 fights that are actually worthwhile watching in this division. We had it with Khalil and Poatan. We were so excited about it, although no one else really was, and it turned out to be a banger. I think probably putting Magomed Ankalaev against Alex Pereira has to happen just because of, like, okay, we have the 2 most skilled people. And then for a fun, sloppy fight, I guess like you could put Khalil against either one of these guys too. And it would be fun.
Yep.
But this is going to be a train wreck. This is going to be bad. So here's how I look at this fight. And you tell me, is this a right assessment? Neither one of these guys have any defense. Their entire game is 100% offense. And so it relies on whose offense will land more and whose body will give out before their offense can take over, right? Thinking of the Yuri and Rakic fight. Rakic is destroying Yuri for a round, and then his body just slowly wilts, and Yuri is still there, like an immortal god, coming towards him, and he defeats Rakic. On top of that, neither one of these guys have any... Well, let me take it back. Neither one of them have any disciplined or, like, trained skill. But both of them do seem very... right? Like, they're not doing techniques correctly. They're not throwing shit at the right time. There's no methodology or system behind what they're doing. But they do both seem like very naturally and intuitively good fighters, right? Like, without any form of discipline or game planning or technique, they have gone, I at least understand, or I have a good feel for how to fight. You see these people, like when you've sparred with people, or when I've sparred with people, or you roll with people, they could be a white belt, or it could be their first time sparring. And some people just have a much better like sense of throwing back, not flinching, when to throw punches, how to like throw in volume, how to stick in the pocket.
Yeah, like fight sense.
Yeah, and I think both of these guys have very good fight sense. That's how they've made it this far. It just happens to be that they're at 205 in a historically like this present division of light heavyweight is some of the weakest it's ever been.
Yeah, yeah,
And they both are like their offense is pretty devastating. And at least for Yuri, he's like almost unkillable. So my question ends up being like, whose offense is going to kind of win out and whose body, like, as these two cars drive into each other back, like over and over, which car will crumple entirely first and its axle will turn to dust before, like, and then the other one can just, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, that is a good analogy right there.
yeah. So I hate doing this, dude.
You come on.
Yuri Prochazka is like extremely tough, but we have seen his durability tested and cracked a little bit recently.
Yeah.
He also isn't very good at straight, like deflecting straight punches. And the only thing Jamal Hill really can throw is like a leg kick and then a 1-2.
Yep.
And he actually is like very accurate with his straight punching. We saw that in the Glover Teixeira fight. And we can see he can keep up a pace doing that. It's hard. My gut, it's hard. I kind of think I want to pick Jamal Hill, but
Okay, okay.
like Yuri might just survive it and then do a double jumping knee and like melt Jamal Hill. Like I don't know. Give me your sense. I've talked too much about this fight. Where are you thinking?
No, I mean that what you highlighted right there is like two people who like rely on instinct and rely on their like just God-given athletic abilities and just trying to outlast their opponent is like exactly what I thought with these guys. Like, have you ever seen those like really, really like weird, like crazy, like country bumpkin shows where you have like a bunch of people in cars in a ring and they just drive and basically play like bumper cars but with real cars?
Yes.
That's what this is going to be like. I feel like it's just
Yes.
which
Yes.
car can last longer and just go faster at another car. Like,
Mhm.
um,
The way
and
God
yeah,
intended cars to be used.
that's right. And
Yeah.
you know, I think you're 100% right. Like Yuri's like very very durable chin has been cracked multiple times in recent history. Twice within the last 2 years. I think less than 24 months to Alex Pereira.
Hmm.
And then like he didn't get knocked out. He didn't get stumbled at all when he fought Rakic, but he did take like just a lot of insane punishment. Like to his legs and his body. But
Hmm.
so I don't know. Like in the last what 3 fights he's had there, so that'd be it. Alex Pereira, Rakic, and Alex Pereira. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of punishment he's taken.
Hmm.
But maybe his crazy 3-day no food meditation in the dark underneath a waterfall heals him miraculously. I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
no, we're not gonna. No, we're not even gonna allow for that bullshit in here. I don't want to hear about like he just wanted it more, and then that
No,
was
that's not
why
what I'm
he
saying.
like.
I'm
Yeah, it
saying
is. It's like he wanted it more because he sat in the dark and it healed him. Like he's
no,
a
I did
fucking
not
anime
say that.
character.
I'm saying I don't know. Maybe Yuri knows something I don't. But I do
I
think I do think his chin has been tested more and has been cracked more than Jamal Hill's, but I still think he's more durable than Jamal Hill. So
yes,
I'm gonna pick Yuri
Yuri Bai.
by second round TKO.
I will also go second round TKO, but I think it'll be Jamal. Um, yeah, I think it'll be yeah, yep, Jamal second round TKO. Um, Mostly just now to spite you for saying maybe it does miraculously heal him. Like package that up, sell it for $9.99 online, or like as like a life coach, or like how to optimize your warrior chi or whatever the fuck. It's such bullshit. I don't want to hear it.
All right. What happens if he wins by insane second round flying double knee takedown? And he goes, I saw this in a vision when I was in the dark.
Like
Because that's a very real thing he would say.
yeah, but also like just because he says it doesn't mean it happened. And also like Yuri's crazy. Like again, I think it's a pretty close 50-50 on
Oh, yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
I think whoever wins this, it's going to be this weird thing we're going in, we're going to go, "Hey, this is pretty 50-50," but the way the fight will play out, there's sometimes are those stylistic matchups where when the fighter does win, it looks like, how could we have picked anyone else? You know,
Mhm.
you go
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of, yeah, it's one of those, like, the classic example would be like a striker versus a grappler, and you're like, well, I think the striker will definitely take him out, and then you're like, well, the grappler just took him down and mauled him. Like, how did I even think? Or we think, oh, the grappler will submit him, and you're like, well, but then they got knocked out in one round. How could we have thought it went any other way? I
Mhm.
think that'll kind of be how this looks, because it'll
Yeah.
either look exactly like a Yuri Prochazka fight, or it will look exactly like a Jamal Hill fight, which
Mhm.
is Jamal Hill just peppering him with ones and twos and not really getting hit, and Yuri getting frustrated, or Yuri just taking those ones and twos and then going back to his corner, saying some sort of like prayer in broken Japanese, and then coming out, and yeah, flying double knee right to the chest, and then Jamal Hill's sternum caves in, and then his lungs fill with fluid, and he drowns in front of us in the octagon. You know, yeah, I
God
picked Jamal Hill
damn.
second round. You got Yuri second round, but
All
like, yeah,
right,
I
all
don't think
right.
this is going to the third. I think this is
Oh yeah,
someone's gonna die by the second.
yeah.
All right. So next up, we have our three. These are kind of just, you can pick any fight. We're not, no one's dictating it, but it is, each one of us must pick, and we cannot pick the same fight. Um, Most likely to see a finish, and you can pick what the version of the finish will be. You don't need to say who will do
Oh, wait,
it, but
wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? You and I can't pick the same fight?
so if I say, oh, I think Rin Nakamura is going to get a submission, you can't say, oh, I too. You have to pick a
Oh,
different one. So
oh
we'll
boy.
alternate who gets to start
Okay,
with
okay,
each
I
one.
got you. All right, all right.
So it is finish. It is going to be most likely to go to a decision, and it is going to be most likely underdog to win an upset.
And none of these could be the three fights that
The
we picked.
three we picked, yes.
Okay, okay.
So since you won overall last year with your picks, I'll let you start
All right,
with, yeah. Which one
all
do you
right.
think will go to a finish?
Fight that will go to a finish. I'm going to say Peyton Talbot.
Payne Talbot versus Hani Barcelos. Well, how is that going to be a finish? I mean, he is a minus 1,000 favorite.
Yeah, I think Peyton Talbot is just super like dynamic, athletic, young, and like will do just another highlight knockout win. Like I don't think Henny Barcelos is going to be the one that's going to test them to go to like in the uh higher level fighters in the bantamweight divisions that will force them to go deeper into like the second or third round. I think it's just going to be kind of what we saw last time with him.
Got it. Okay. So you're just picking Peyton Talbot to win by finish,
Yes,
not even what
yes.
the finish is. Okay.
I'd knockout.
Knockout. Okay. I too am gonna go with a knockout for my finish, or TKO. I'm gonna go up to the opener of the main card and say Kevin Holland and Renier de Ridder will end by
Ah,
knockout overall, or
okay,
TKO.
okay, okay.
I have a feeling that Renier de Ridder, while a good submission grappler, doesn't really have much wrestling to get it there, and looked kind of bad in his last fight.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland, we talk about him all the time, man. When he's got his head on right, the dude looks like a title challenger. And when he doesn't have his head on right, he usually makes dumb mistakes. But he's fighting someone with, what is the reach disadvantage for Renier de Ridder? It's something goofy and silly. It's only 3 inches. Never mind. But 3 inch reach advantage, it's pretty good. And I
That's
see,
Renee Rivera has a pretty long reach then, because I know like Kevin Holland has a stupidly long reach for
yeah,
his
he's got like an
his weight.
81, 82 inch reach. It's only 2 inches shorter than John Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what the
Uh,
hell?
so I think Kevin Holland's going to be able to bop Rainier right on the noggin, and that's all she wrote.
All right, all right.
All right. Next up, I get to start. I'm gonna go. This is which fight most likely to go to decision. I gotta
Yep.
take Mia layup. We know women's bantamweight, classic division to go to a decision. Classic. So I'm gonna pick Carol Rosa and Eileen Perez going to a
Oh my
decision.
god. All
That's
right.
if you need to set your watch for 15 minutes, that's the fight to do it too.
All right. Who do you think is gonna who do you think is gonna win?
I don't care. Probably Carol Rosa. Eileen Perez isn't actually very good. And Carol Rosa's okay. That's all the read I have on it. You know, like one person I watch and I'm like, yeah, they're competent. And the other person I watch and I'm like, eh, I think probably Carol Rosa. But it doesn't matter because it's just to see if this fight actually goes to a decision. And this fight's going the whole distance, baby.
All right, all right.
All right. What do you say?
I'm going to say this might be my undoing because I don't know anything about who he's fighting, but I'm going to say Rinya Nakamura is just going to wrestle fuck. How do you even say his name? Muin Gafurov?
Muin Gafarov? Muin
Muin?
Gafurov?
Yeah.
MG. Call him MG.
Yeah. But I think he's just going to show,
yeah,
just like really dominant control and just being very savvy on the ground. Like it's going to be a dominant win, but it's not going to be a finish.
Got it. Interesting. I'm hoping Ren will pull out a submission or something there. Not so that you lose, but because I want him to start getting some finishes on his record, so people start taking him a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, he has finishes, just not in the UFC yet. So
he has one in the UFC.
Oh, does he?
TKO in the first round, 33 seconds.
What?
He just like, blasted some fool.
All right.
Yeah. So hopefully he'll be able to finish Muin Gafarov, and then you'll lose.
Oh shit! Yeah, some of his earlier fights were he won his first 3 all by KOs. So
yeah, he's got the potential. It's just yeah, we'll see if he can do it. And the last one, most likely underdog to win. Unfortunately, you can't pick, though we did not pick any of the underdogs in the top 3 fights, but you cannot pick the underdog. Any underdog you're looking at where you're like, that's the money pick.
So there's a few on the UFC website right now that don't have odds, and I can't seem to find them online.
Who are you looking for? Are you looking for Sergey Spivak and Jailton Almeida?
And yeah. I don't know anything about Zachary Reese or Azamat Bakoyev.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, don't even try to act like you're looking. Oh, I was gonna make a good pick there. The UFC, you just didn't have it. I knew about Zachary Reese all the time. Jailton Almeida is a -500, and Sergey Spivak is a +330 underdog.
Huh. It's heavyweight.
It is heavyweight. That's true.
I do want Jailton Almeida to win, though.
But you picking it won't make a difference.
Yeah.
The question is it good money on Sergey?
Question.
Yeah.
Can I pick a fighter that you already picked in one of these fights? Or once you pick those fights, they're gone?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, that only leaves you Rainier DeRitter or... Well, actually, Rainier DeRitter and Kevin Holland are even, so it's not an underdog.
That's true.
So you have to pick Eileen Perez.
Okay. Shit. Fuck it, I'm picking Eileen Perez, yeah.
All right. Well, that is a +210 underdog.
Yeah.
So that is a little bit better than mine.
Oh shit. What are you going with?
Underdog that I'm picking, he's only a +136 underdog. But it's Beneil Dariush, baby.
Oh!
Everyone is overlooking how good Beneil Dariush is. He did lose to Arman Tsarukyan, the consensus #1 contender. If there was no Islam, he is the best, and he lost to Chucky Olives. Chucky Olives, like consensus, probably #3 best in this division. How does Hirata Moicano win fights? Takes people down, and he roughs them up with ground and pound. He does have decent stand-up, but it's all leading into the takedown and dominant top control.
Mm-hmm.
Beneil Dariush does not get taken down. He was able to stuff every one of Mateusz Gamrot's shots, and Mateusz Gamrot can always take people down. Beneil Dariush is somehow made of like wood, and it's just impossible to get any leverage on. It might be that he has no ass cheeks, and so therefore, like somehow that gives him a weird aerodynamic shape. Look, I love me some Beneil Dariush. I just like I call him as I see him. Watch when he walks out to the cage. You'll be like his legs just kind of sprout from the bottom of his shorts. You know, like when you're you draw or like you're doing animation, and like if you don't like account for what the human body should look like under fabric, it just looks like a head on top of floating fabric. That's kind of what Beneil Dariush is like. He's like an upper body, shorts, and then calves. It's very odd. Anyway, He's gonna win. Everyone's been doubting him. He took a year off to recover for his brain health. Everyone's high on Renato Moicano because, as he said, he's a libertarian first and a fighter second. Um, but he's not going to be able to take down Beneil Dariush, and Beneil Dariush has got good power in his hands. Beneil Dariush, even if he is taken down or they exchange grapple like in a grappling sequence, Beneil Dariush is a higher level black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu than Renato Moicano. I know Moicano is on this like upsurge, but we also must remember Renato Moicano is older than Beneil Dariush. They both are past the age of 35. They both are kind of getting a little bit old. Beneil Dariush has been in higher caliber fights, and I think he's the underdog pick for the night. It's gonna be Beneil, baby.
Yeah. All right. All right.
There we go. All righty. So that's how it goes. That's the new format. This is a good fight card. Like,
Yeah.
is there any fight that we didn't touch on that you want to talk about really quick, just because you're excited for it?
I mean, you kind of already talked about it, and like, I don't know why I'm not excited for the fight itself, like Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano, but fucking Renato Moicano, man, is the most like ridiculous character that I've ever, like, one of the most ridiculous ones I've seen in a long time in the UFC, and I have no idea what the fuck is gonna come out of this guy's mouth if he wins or loses. So like, I guess I'm kind of excited for that.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's just like being back from a period of time without UFC fights that is like kind of giving me rose-colored glasses. But this main card is a card full of weirdos. You got Kevin Holland, who's like routinely very weird and like I don't care.
Routinely talks to people during his fights. Like,
Yeah. Well, and it's like I don't care about the wins and losses. I don't care about the belt. I just want to fight as many times as possible so I can get paid as much as possible. I don't care about weight class. I'll just go wherever. Renier de Ridder is like kind of like an awkward, goofy looking dude from the Netherlands who basically decided not to learn MMA, just be good at submission wrestling, but not even really the wrestling part. Beneil Dariush won't swear ever and is like devoutly Jesus. And when he went to Abu Dhabi, I think last time, or maybe it was Saudi Arabia, he like said to the crowd, like, give yourself over to Jesus. And I was like, whoa, man, you picked the
wrong fucking crowd for that, man.
Renato Moicano is what brain rot from the internet looks like manifest into a human. Yuri Prochazka is this insane guy from the Czech Republic cosplaying as a samurai. Like, Jamal Hill picks fights with everyone for no apparent reason at all. Merab Dvalishvili is kind of like a little Jamal Hill. He gets angry about everything, and mostly
That's true. Yeah,
like, yeah,
he
is just a weird cardio freak. Umar Nurmagomedov, not as much of a big personality, but like from that esteemed like Abdulmanap camp. Same thing with Islam, and then Arman Tsarukyan. Somebody at the press conference referred to him as Batman, like Bruce Wayne, because he is a billionaire who has chosen to fight for a living, which is pretty rare. Like, he's the son of a Russian oligarch who controls a massive amount of the wealth within Russia, and he just decided he wanted to be an MMA fighter. It's a very weird group of people. We'll have to keep an eye on the rest of the cards, though, because I feel like you could do that kind of thing that I just did with every card. Because people that go into MMA are just fucking weirdos, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. They're certifiably insane.
Yeah. So, anyway, well, this has been Two Fight Fans podcast. I'm One Fight Fan Stuart.
I'm your other Colin.
Join us next week. We'll talk about the fallout of UFC 311. We'll talk about some of the news about Bellator going away, free agency of Patricio Pitbull. We'll talk about the upcoming fights that are going to happen. We'll talk about Inoue's fight, which has now been moved, I think, to later this month.
I think it's the 24th.
The 24th. Oh, okay. So it'll be next up because there's no more UFC events this month. And we may look forward to February, in which we will have Israel Adesanya fight, maybe in his last fight if he loses. He's been hinting at that. And definitely Dominic Cruz's last fight. So we'll have to do two retrospectives on one of Colin's favorite fighters and one of my favorite fighters overall. Awesome. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.